Hello everybody, and welcome back to the sixth part of this Principus sales education series. Today we will talk about solution creation and solution communication. The goal for all three paths of problem solving is to find a solution. The methods are different, but you can always use some standard approaches for solution finding. One is analogical thinking. In analogical thinking, you look for similarities between what you already know and the problem you are addressing. You are trying to find the best solution, in this case the most comparable one based on your knowledge. There is some risk in this approach, especially if your knowledge pool is not wide enough. Another risk is that you will get yourself in a situation where you will see more similarities between different solutions than there really is, due to your goal of finding a solution as quickly as possible. Brainstorming is a very popular approach, especially if you're looking for a solution to some problems that are defined in a very general way. It can also serve you well if you are looking for a solution that demands a lot of creative thinking. I'm not a big fan of brainstorming, especially if it is not organized in a structured way. IDEO company that we briefly mentioned before defines some rules that can help teams run better brainstorming sessions. From my perspective, I would say that you should follow at least three of them. They are: defer your judgment, stay focused on the topic, and in this phase, go for quantity, not quality. If you are proposing a solution for complex B2B challenges, have in mind that your solution will need to cover different needs. The objectives of solution and criteria for measuring the success should address all three elements: desirability, feasibility, and viability. So always check if your solution is addressing user desirability, technological and organizational feasibility, and financial viability. You can have the best solution, but if you don't present it properly, it will not be accepted. How you present or communicate your solution depends on your style. Majority of presentations are based on presenting all the information collected during research phase, and the final solution is presented at the end. Often the final presentation is the first time when a solution is presented to some stakeholders. This is not the best way. If you are not able to have an open ongoing communication with potential customer before final presentation, chances are that you will not get that deal. The final presentation should be about confirmation of final solution that was already agreed with important stakeholders in the research phase. Final presentation is also time when you define next steps in the process and when you start building a timeline for implementation. Let's check a better approach that we already mentioned in this series. It is called pyramid principle. Barbara Minto is a former McKinsey consultant and the creator of pyramid principle. Her approach is based on an old and well-established insight. The insight is that people can better understand and remember a set of ideas if they can mentally organize these ideas around a coherent pattern or logical structure. For business recommendations, Minto argues that the most efficient communication structure is a top-down pyramid. Pyramid starts with communicating the core message head-on. Minto calls this core message the governing thought. After presenting the core message, you then turn to a key line of arguments that support it, while you are also announcing the plan of the report. The core message must jump off the page immediately and pave the way for the later points that collectively justify or detail it. Make sure that you talk about things that matter to whom it matters. Use SWWC approach, whereas the who cares questions ask you to identify an interested person or group. The so what questions ask you to link your argument to some larger matter that your target group already deemed important. Solution statement is a short, to-the-point message you want to deliver at the end of the presentation that will motivate your target group to act. One example is solution statement template, used generally for product value proposition, but can be used for any solution communication. The flow goes like this. Our, here you describe what you're selling. Help, here you identify your target group. Who want to, here name your customer challenges. Buy, what customer will solve, or buy, what customer will gain. You can also expand solution statement with the competition comparison, introducing a word unlike. The ultimate objective of your solution presentation is to trigger action. In order to do that, you need to convey actionable recommendation, and you should not stop at analysis. One of the big challenges for some seller is to define next step or ask for a sell. If you cannot do that, you will not survive in the sales environment. This will be all for today. Next short part will be about jobs to be done approach that can help us define customer challenges better. I will also mention some elements from consulting that can help us to be more effective in sales. Thank you very much and see you in the next clip.